Are you wondering what's happening in the Abbotsford real estate market? In this video, we'll be diving deep into the latest trends, statistics, and what they mean for both buyers and sellers. Stay tuned to get the most complete picture of the Abbotsford real estate market. Hey, I'm Hudson Hoffman with the Hoffman Group at Century 21 Creekside Realty, and welcome to your total market update for the Abbotsford real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just stay informed for the future, this update will have everything you need to know for what's going on in your hometown. Now let's get to it. Now I'm going to start off with this news release from the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board because I think it sums things up pretty nicely. I'm just going to read through this word for word, so if you prefer just to read it yourself and skip forward, you can click on the next chapter and move on. Cool summer market persists in Fraser Valley with the second slowest July sales in a decade. Sluggish seasonally adjusted sales and a continued rise in inventory has the Fraser Valley market slowly shifting to favor buyers. The Fraser Valley Real Estate Board recorded 1,230 sales in July, down by 7% over last month and down 26% over the 10-year seasonal average. Inventory levels in the Fraser Valley reached a 10-year seasonally adjusted high in July with active listings at 8,731, up 5% over June and 41% higher than July 2023. Amidst an overall balanced market, some realtors are experiencing pockets within the Fraser Valley that favor buyers, where prices have come down, said Jeff Jadhud, the chair of the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. This is evident in the amount of time buyers have to view a property before considering to make an offer. Properties that are well priced are selling quickly, suggesting motivated buyers are active in the market despite the slowdown. New listings were flat in July, down by less than 0.5% from June to 3,412, with a sales to active listings ratio of 14%. Overall market conditions are balanced. The market is considered balanced when the ratio is between 12 and 20%. Despite back-to-back policy rate cuts by the Bank of Canada, many first-time homebuyers are still facing challenging market conditions, high interest rates, the mortgage stress test, and the need for a substantial down payment. While we wait for the rate cuts to take effect, we encourage anyone looking to buy or sell to speak with a professional realtor who has the knowledge and expertise to navigate the current market. Across the Fraser Valley in July, the average number of days to sell a single-family home was 31, while for a condo it was 28. Townhomes took, on average, 25 days to sell. Benchmark prices in the Fraser Valley dipped slightly in July, with the composite benchmark price below $1 million for the first time since January of 2024. The composite benchmark price, which means the benchmark price for all property types, in the Fraser Valley is $999,100. And then they go into the MLS HPI bench price activity. So for single family homes at $1,529,600, townhomes at $848,000, and apartments at $551,000. Now, where they were talking about the average days for sale, I don't think that's an exactly accurate figure, and I'll explain why. It's often a tactic of listing agents to do what's called a delist relist, to basically refresh the listing on the market, and I think that skews that stat, so I don't know how reliable that is or if they take that into effect when they're considering this information. So let's take a look at the current sales stats to get some better context for what's going on in the market, and that way the graph that we'll look at in a second will make a little bit more sense. So last month there were 66 total detached sales, which is a 6.5% increase over the 62 from July of last year. However, that's down 10% from June, which shows that July was a much cooler month than June for sales. It was also a cooler month as far as new listings go, with 166 new listings in July compared to 200 in June. Now, this is pretty typical. July is generally a lot slower month. People are busy doing summer activities. They're going away on vacations. They're spending time at Cultus Lake. You can tell by the immense traffic out there. It's generally just a slower month in the real estate world, and that's not a huge surprise to most real estate agents. The benchmark price for a detached house was $1,234,700 in July, which is down about 0.8% from the $1,244,000 that it was July of last year. It is worth noting though that is up compared to June. By 0.6%, it was at $1,227,000. So the prices are kind of slowly inching their way up. I think that these interest rate cuts are having an effect, And they're having the effect that they want to have. They don't want these interest rates to absolutely explode the housing market and cause the prices to go back to the levels we were seeing in 2021. So I believe this is as intended. Taking a look at the townhouse market, it actually really cooled off this month. There were 43 sales in July, which is down 17% from the 52 that we had in June. And it's also down 17% from July of last year. Now, taking a look at the benchmark prices, the benchmark price has gone up from this time last year by about 4.9% to 666,000. And it's a 0% change from last month, showing that these prices are pretty much holding steady. This cooling off could just be an issue of pricing. It's a bit hard to say. Lastly, taking a look at condos, there were 66 sales in Abbotsford last month, down 24% from last year, but up 15% from June. This is to be expected. If you've been following my weekly market updates, you know the condo market in Abbotsford is performing quite well. It's keeping up to pace with the detached market, which is generally Abbotsford's strongest housing market with the most sales month to month. What this tells me is right now people are picking condos over townhouses when they're looking for homes. That could be for affordability reasons, it could be interest rates. There's a lot of potential factors leading to that. But as it's showing, as the numbers are telling us right now, we're having a much slower townhouse market and a much hotter condo market. One stat that is missing from this summary is average days on market. Again, I don't find that a super useful stat. As I mentioned before, the delist relist strategy that's becoming really common amongst listing agents is having days on market as a statistic being a little bit unreliable. Taking a look at this graph, this is the sales to active ratio, which is essentially the ratio of how many sales versus how many total listings, and it kind of gives you a percent chance of any one house selling in the market. At the month of July, as you can see here, we're at 14% for the month, putting us in this nice balanced market section. This shows that both buyers and sellers have kind of equal negotiation power, but a little bit more in favor of the buyers, just due to how much longer properties have been staying on the market lately. Taking a look at the benchmark prices across the entire Fraser Valley, this isn't just Abbotsford, this is the whole valley. Things have been pretty stable for the entire month of 24. Like, we've gotten 3 fairly flat curves here showing that the market is being a bit resilient in the face of some of these interest rate cuts. And I believe that in order for this market to heat up a little bit more, interest rates have to dip either a little bit lower or sellers are going to have to start reducing prices in order to get some of this inventory moving. Now, the biggest thing affecting affordability right now are the interest rates. And even though the Bank of Canada has done 2.25% interest rates cuts the past 2 announcements, the next one coming on September 4th, which most people expect to be another cut, it still wasn't quite enough to make the market palatable or even affordable for first-time home buyers. A lot of lenders are writing mortgages around 5.3%, and with the stress test, people are having to qualify at around 7.3%. Just to get a mortgage. As a first-time home buyer, that's incredibly difficult, and there's a lot of work needs to be done in order to make this more affordable. I believe that's also what's kind of holding the market back, as first-time home buyers tend to purchase entry-level condos, which are usually the driving force behind the market as a whole. A lot of what we're seeing right now is people having their houses up for sale subject to sale, and if there's nobody to buy it, it just sits there. And I personally believe a lot of these entry-level condos are the first domino that needs to fall in order for a lot of these transaction chains to get started. Now, to put some of this information more into practice, I'll give some quick tips for both buyers and sellers about what to do with this information. For buyers, right now is a really great time to take advantage of more inventory and significantly less competition. So if you're looking to buy a property and you don't feel like getting into any bidding wars with people, right now is an amazing time to buy. There's tons of inventory and houses are sitting on the market a lot longer. And there are a lot of motivated sellers who are willing to take some pretty substantial measures in order to get their home sold. For sellers, it's critical right now to price your home competitively and stage it so that it's much more attractive to try to bring in as many buyers as you possibly can. Given current market conditions, you should be prepared for your home to sit on the market a little bit longer than it has the past few years. Looking ahead, I just did a report on the weekly statistics for Abbotsford's real estate market, and August is shaping up to already be a lot faster than it was in July. The first week of July was incredibly slow. First week of August has been significantly faster. So I do expect over the next few months for the real estate market to improve and for sales numbers to keep rising, but it's going to be a gradual increase. It's not going to be a sudden surge. Some key factors to watch out for is to keep up to date with my weekly updates. I post them every single Friday, and it gives kind of a recap on what happened that week, and it gives you the most up-to-date information for that month in the real estate market, as well as pay attention to the upcoming interest rate announcement on September 4th by the Bank of Canada. That's going to be a huge driver in sales if they decide to do another rate cut, as well as keep an eye on the inflation rate, because that's basically what their benchmark is to determine whether or not they're going to be cutting rates. So that's something that you definitely want to be paying attention to. To do a quick recap, the Abbotsford market is slowly picking itself up out of a few month slump that it's been in for a little while. July was a lot slower than previous years. However, that's not to be expected given that this year in general has been slower in the real estate world, and things have been slowly picking up. August is likely going to be a faster month than July was, and September is probably going to be faster than October. And we're kind of expecting that trend to continue up until winter, when the real estate market generally quiets down. Come spring of 2025, I think the market's going to be a lot busier. And if CMHC's report is to be believed, 2026 is going to be an incredibly busy year. So if you are thinking of buying property, I think sooner is better than later right now, given that the CMHC has predicted that we'll be breaking price records in 2026. So it's something to keep an eye on, and it's definitely worth knowing. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments what you think. I tried something a little bit different with this video. It's a bit more data heavy than the past ones that Rob and I have put out, and I'm curious what you guys think about it. As always, if you have any questions or concerns about what's going on in the real estate market, or if you just want to know any specific real estate questions, please feel free to reach out. All of my information is down in the description below, and I'd be happy to help. I will see all of you in the next video. Bye for now.